Meg, honey, is that you?
It's me, believe it or not. It's me, P, honey.
And believe it or not, technical difficulties galore.
Shocker. It's a big shocker, especially for me, Again, I'm a
I want
hairdresser.
I want to continue having my sisters on, but this is the first run for you, so it's fine. But like next time I have you on, we need to just know what it is. You need
I would
headphones.
also like a
You
full list. And also, I'd like to point out that in fact, I didn't give you like a binder or anything, but I am a hairdresser. We don't really use a lot of computers. Not
It's
my
just
fault. I wasn't allowed to do
shocking.
hair on Zoom.
Right. So true. Can't do that. Okay, well,
Can't do
welcome back to Adultish Wines. Technically, this is your third time. You were on in season one with Kara and I when I had a co-host.
that.
And then you were on for episode 99 when I had all three of y'all crazy asses in my tiny ass studio apartment.
That is
And
correct.
now you're back.
Here I am.
How are you feeling? Scale of 1 to 10. Are you nervous?
No, not nervous. I just feel like I feel like my life is a constant, leap from one thing to another. So here I am,
Yeah,
ta-da.
what was the feedback for me for episode 99 when y'all were on was amazing. People loved it. The whiners loved it. People that you know personally were reaching out to me. Obviously, people that I know personally reaching out to me. Like how did you feel after recording that episode? All four of us in the same room. Well, I actually not in the same room, but in the same 700
Yes.
square feet.
Same space.
Yeah.
I felt great. I thought it was a great episode. I thought it was very true to our form, which is, wild and distracted and hurry and sit down. My the girls at the salon were just beside themselves. I got many text messages just saying how real we all were and how good it was to see us, and that they watched it on YouTube instead of just listening this time because they really had to like see who was talking when. It was all
Yeah.
really, really good feedback.
Yeah, I was really surprised to hear that so many people found it so relatable. Not that I think that our situation is unique, but I just think we're all very like crazy ridiculous individuals, and so
Okay.
and yeah, our story is unique, but the overwhelming responses of like, "Oh my God, you made me feel not alone." Like I have two sisters and a brother, and like we go, we've been through things like that, and like the way that you guys still love each other so hard, even though you can still, you can feel that there's tension, but you know that you love each other. Like I was really heartwarmed by that.
Well, I would agree. I think that it is. I think that we might represent a batch of people who, it's complicated. Life's complicated. And I think we somehow, maybe through our own struggles, but I think somehow we humanize that a little bit more, make it a
Yeah,
little bit more palatable, make it a little easier to say, hey, you know what? Me too.
yeah, for sure.
So, and if we can help one person be more relaxed about their trauma, I say,
That's what I love
cheers.
about this here podcast. Here, here.
Here,
So you
here.
are my oldest sister, and I don't want to call you out,
Rude.
but you are 47.
That's so rude. Okay.
Which,
We're starting out,
okay, listen
hard
though, the
hitting.
reason why I like chose to say that, because I know that was gonna be a sensitive subject, was that recently I was at the Call Her Daddy unwell tour, and I was
Mm.
backstage with Kristen Cavallari, who was talking about like she can't wait to be 47 and her kids be older and just like living her life. And I said, oh my God, Chad, you need to tell Megan that Kristen Cavallari said this, because Megan just turned 47 and was like, what the hell is this age? Like, it's
Yeah.
not 45, it's not 50, like it's in the middle, like what goes next? But like, listen, Kristen Cavallari, first of all, we talked about that's kind of cool.
Well, she's kind of cool. I've loved her since she clapped back at a mom who was shaming her for the shortness of her shorts.
Yes.
I
Yes.
posted it on my Facebook, the
Oh,
Facebook.
oh my
Okay. So,
God, the
it's official.
dedication.
Kristen,
The Facebook.
the Facebook.
I love it.
Um, I will say that this last weekend, I was with my daughter in Montana at Parents Weekend for her sorority. And, so of course we had to go to these frat parties. And I'm going to tell you, if you ever need like a pump up, these girls are it.
Yeah.
First of all, one of them walked by me the first night and she kind of was like, hi. And
Oh,
I was like, oh, okay. But she didn't know who I was. And I was there kind of
she didn't
like,
know who you
Grace,
were. She didn't know that you're the mayor of Santa
she didn't
Clarita.
know. She didn't know who I was. But then she realizes that I'm Grace's mom because Grace is hugging me and she's crying. And she comes running back and she goes, oh, I just pulled my earphone out. There you go. That's 47 for you. And she goes, oh my God, I thought you were a sorority sister. I'm so sorry. And I was like, okay, let's settle down now, shall we? Because there's no possible way I passed for 20. And she's like, oh my God, you look so young. I'm so sorry. And I was like, honey, it's okay. It's totally fine. Anyway, later I adopted her and many kids. But again, I tell you, 47, I don't know. It sounds bad, but it doesn't feel bad.
No, and you don't look 47 and you've got your whole life ahead of you now.
I've got my whole life ahead of me. I
Yeah,
mean, at least a good 42 more years,
at least. You are also my half sister, which I think is, I don't
Mm,
know, like it never has felt like you're my half sister, except for when
no,
you
same.
started talking to your other half siblings, which was so weird. But we won't go there.
Was brief.
Um,
Was brief.
you and I have a different dad. So you are
Correct.
the oldest and you have one dad, and then the three of us have another dad.
Another dad. Sorry.
Another human. Two humans. Two
two,
humans were involved
two.
in
Well, actually, more than two, but
right.
fine. We're fine, you guys. Everything's fine.
Takes two to tango.
Oh
But I
boy. Oh boy.
actually found out that you were my half sister days before you were about to get married.
Oh yes, this is
Yes, and
right.
I
Oh God, I
remember.
forgot all about this. You were the sad. I wish I could pull up a picture right now.
Oh my God. I mean, really, there actually is a photo of me
Mm-hmm.
hugging you at your wedding, and I bet
Yeah,
you that's exactly what I look like when I heard the news. Because I just thought,
sobbing.
you're not my sister. Like
Yeah.
my whole life was ruined. I just didn't understand. But luckily, I feel like there are some siblings in life who like maybe do feel that half or that step, but maybe it is our trauma bond that we've never felt that way. But oh my God, I just remember being absolutely
A
crushed that you were not my
sobbing.
sister.
Yes, yes. And you felt like me getting married was going to make that even worse.
Oh
And
yeah, you
you
were being taken
just,
from me.
yes, you just hooked right on in here and you just wouldn't leave. And we're going to have to put it up for the whiners. I'll find it
Oh
and
my
send it to
God,
you.
it's so cute. And I only had these four teeth. That's
Oh,
it.
with your all the hair and the low bun.
Oh my God, but so cute and
Oh,
innocent. I did
you're
look cute.
so cute and innocent. You were just the sweetest. You always
Oh
have
my
been
God,
my
since we're
little
on that
baby.
subject, tell me more about me.
Yes, I was listening to this on the flight to Montana. I hadn't caught up yet, and
To
we
the
were
episode with me
talking.
and Coco.
We were talking about, or you and Coco were talking about, um, what is it? We didn't remember. I didn't remember. I forgot that Mom used to call on the payphone. I
When you
totally
heard that
forgot
story,
that.
did you feel it in your bones?
Yes. And it's
Because when
fascinating that
she
I
was
forgot
saying
that
it,
because it was the most irritating thing ever. And I always felt so guilty for being irritated because here she is, deaf on the sidewalk somewhere, calling us. And it just gave me such like terrible feeling. I felt, ugh. But I totally forgot about that until I was listening to the podcast.
I did too. And then when she was saying that story, like visibly, if you were watching on YouTube, I was
I
like,
wasn't. I was listening.
I like went back to that, like, oh my God, disgust. Oh my
Oh
God,
man.
disgust.
Well, we've
Um,
completely gone off topic, but all right.
as we do, but that is a question I did want to ask you. So while we're here, can you tell me, like, obviously, because you'll love to hear this, and I'll stroke your ego. You
Oh,
did
thank
help
you.
raise all of us, and you were a mother
Okay.
figure. That is
There's no
true. That
need.
is true. It's hard for me to get emotional about it. Okay, I'm not there. Maybe sometime after therapy, but I understand that you did have a large part in it. However, what was I like as a kid? Because Courtney can't remember shit. I don't remember shit. Mom's
Yeah.
dead. Everyone's dead. So
Everyone is dead. Yeah. Okay. So I don't know if I would, yes, I did help raise you. Yes, I did. But yeah, so complicated. Anyway, you as a child, you were sweet. You were very much like Grace was. Very happy, lots of smiling, never met a stranger. And that table thing is true. This
hmm
was your favorite thing to do. You would just slide across on your pajama belly and then just slip right in between the table and the wall. And you would just wait there happily till someone came and got you. You
cute.
didn't start with your OCD tendencies until I think maybe when you moved down here.
Down to LA? Wait, down to
Mhm.
Texas? Where?
Actually, yeah, no, down to Texas. No, down here to California.
Oh, when I was 15.
Yes, I just remember being terrified to, move a plastic hanger lest I put it back in the
Oh my
wrong
God.
position.
Before you were gonna say hanger, I was gonna say hanger.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was a real thing with your Ashley Simpson um, CD playing. That was a great
Pieces
album.
of me on a
What did
Monday.
we know?
I am
What did you
waiting.
know about Pieces of
Tuesday,
Me?
I am fading. And by
Uh-huh.
Wednesday,
Yeah.
I can
And your
slay.
hair was similar, I want to say,
Oh my God, don't talk about my wig, my hair.
with your piece that just would never
We
grow
can't talk about
past.
that. Okay, let's talk about you now.
Off topic, off topic.
Let's talk about your flag girl days.
Oh my goodness gracious. Are you speaking of the street races, ma'am?
Yes,
Oh
tell
my God.
me.
What would you like to know? I'm going to need a specific question. There was no actual flag involved. It
So
was
you
more of an airline situation.
so you dated a guy who was a street racer.
I dated
What
several
was his
street
car?
racers. Yeah.
Or ish, like
These were all muscle cars. I can't remember. I want to say it was a Camaro.
okay. But is it
But
kind
then
of
I
similar
think
to,
Steve had a Nova.
oh, Steve was also a street racer.
Yes, ma'am.
So when you were you among many other starter rate, what do you call it if you don't have a flag? What are you? A race girl, a street girl.
Oh, right. Yeah. White,
Oh,
white, maybe a little bit white trash, or I don't know if you're allowed to
okay.
say
Yeah,
that.
definitely at the time.
Yeah, I don't know how I got to be this bougie actually, because I really hung out in some strange circles. That certainly don't suggest any kind of bougie. Um, yeah, it was, I mean, I was young, I was 16. I want to say my boyfriend was 24.
So gross.
So disgusting. Mom was a big fan of him because he was a drug dealer and he had money. So that
Oh,
was a plus.
I love that.
Um, he later went to jail, so that really ended that relationship, sadly. What a wild time. Anyway, yes, the street races were wild. It was all American cars. Everybody was into it. This was back in, like, nobody even had cell phones. Like, we had like little brick phones with a big antenna. They were very heavy. You definitely never have seen one, not in any working capacity, nor have
No, I've
probably
seen one in
many
the
of your
movies.
listeners. Um, it was wild. We were on the streets until, I don't know, 2 or 3 in the morning, and doing illegal. We were illegal racing. You're
Well,
not allowed
right,
to do that.
right.
Yeah, I don't
I know
know.
that.
Well, I mean, I knew it too, but I did it anyway. It was
So fun
terrible.
living on the edge.
Oh God, what a freaking time, man.
Oh my God. Okay, so then you went from there. What did you, and then you worked at Nordstrom for many, many years,
I also worked at a
which,
bridal store.
okay.
Um, yeah, I worked at Nordstrom for a long time, multiple different departments. I worked in lingerie, I worked in brass plum, I worked in security. That was my favorite.
Stop.
I love to catch. Well, it was actually called loss prevention back then.
Of course.
Yes, love to watch that. Love to watch the ladies in the strollers come and stuff their strollers full of merchandise. Now
So
we're not
then
allowed to do anything about that, but
oh, you wouldn't do anything, but you would just still watch it.
oh no, we did back then. You would have to wait until they left the store, and then we would like get on our little like walkie-talkies. One would take first floor, the other would take second floor. We would get them right in the mall exit.
No.
Yeah,
Was there any tackling ever involved, or was it all very kosher?
absolutely. Have you met me?
Stop.
Her mind's blown. Ladies and gentlemen, her mind is blown. I don't know why. Why is your mind blown? This is very on point for me.
I did not ever know you tackled somebody in the
She's the
fucking
justice.
Galleria.
It was the Topanga Mall, as a matter of fact. It was not the Galleria. Thank you.
Wow, that's insane. And that's when your aggressive behavior started.
Absolutely. No,
Okay.
that's when my aggressive behavior was validated.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And then you went on to selling hair products to hair salons.
Yeah, outside sales for a company called Mayleys was amazing. The man who owned the company, John Maley, was just just the nicest man. Ran a great business. I was outside sales for a long time. I did really well there. I loved it. I loved meeting new people. I loved the salon atmosphere. I loved that I kind of got to be my own boss. I drove around and had a Thomas guide, which none of you people know what that
I
is.
know what a Thomas guide is, but when I would come down and visit, I would
Mhm.
I don't think about this time often, but when I was like thinking about what we were going to
I
talk
think I
about,
took you on like some ride-alongs.
oh yeah, and like you were in the car for what, 8 hours a day, which
Oh
meant
yeah.
I was in the car for 8 hours a day as a child, but
Hmm.
like I loved it. Like we would just, I don't know, I don't have like specific memories, but I know I would go into the salons with you, we'd get McDonald's, we'd listen to music, and I was
Yeah.
so, I don't know what the age I was, but I do just have memories of like when would it be when I was visiting? I
I
guess
feel
so.
like I remember also like there was times when I'd be like, okay, well, you have an orthodontist appointment, so I'm going to take you there. I'm going to go see a salon really quick. I'll be right back to pick you up.
Yeah.
Like I that just came to me right now. I haven't remembered that in a really long time. But yeah, we did have fun. We went to lunch.
Oh yeah. I remember
We
specifically a hair salon. Her name was Lulu.
Oh my gosh, yes.
They all had to wear
Um,
black and white, and she had the
yes,
funkiest black haircut. But
so
I
cool.
remember looking at her like she is
She's
the
the
coolest thing I've ever
coolest.
seen.
Yeah, the coolest. It was called Ankh Studio, ANKH, and it was in Studio City. I want to say Lulu. I worked with her sister Lori. Why I'm telling you any of this, I don't know, but she was the coolest. And I had some sort of weird like family connection with her because I knew Lori. And so I don't know, they were so kind to me.
Yeah, I
So
just
kind.
remembered loving that time. So then what made you decide to become a hairstylist?
Well, I got prego and that was hard being pregnant and being in the car and then running into salons and being in heels and um but I still thought it was going to be okay. And then after I had Grace, we had these Monday sales meetings and there's requirements for every job. This was in particular, we would have to be in Baldwin Park from like, I don't know, 8 a.m. until 5 p.m. Baldwin Park's, an hour and a half away from me. So it was this huge 12-hour day. And I just hated it. I hated having to be away from her for that amount of hours. I hated that I couldn't leave. I just hated it all. And then one of my salons in my territory, Nate and Jen, owned Beyond the Fringe, and we had gotten to be kind of friends, mostly with Nate because Jen was pregnant with Olivia at the time. And she was like, why don't you, we ended up living just around the corner from each other.
Mm.
And she was like, why don't you go to school and get your license? And I was like, she's like, you can make way more money. And I said, I don't have a creative bone in my body. That's not me. And I have a child now. I can't go to hair school with the girls that are 18 chewing gum. And she was like, there's got to be a way. Turns out a different one of my salons had they ran a program called the apprenticeship program where instead of going to school, I did double the time. So it was 2 years, but I got to learn on the job.
Mm-hmm.
So I did that under Nate, who later became a business partner in a different business. But I learned how to do hair and I loved it
Yeah.
and I was good at
And I
it.
was your guinea pig for a lot of it.
It took me like 3 hours to get color on your hair. I felt terrible.
Yeah, and
To
for
be
the first
fair, she has so much hair. It's not right.
it's not right. And
And I was new.
I did like I was yellow blonde for quite some time.
Well, you and all of your friends. Yes. And then when we transitioned you to more of a brunette look, all of your friends also transitioned to the same color brunette. Yes.
Yeah, we were just like, what is it? Birds together. No,
Birds of a feather flock together.
that's right. That's what I'm trying to
Birds
say.
of a feather.
Yeah, we were
Yeah.
just, yeah.
Well, and it
Okay.
just worked out so well because they also helped, watch my kids. So
Yeah.
I did their hair for free. They watched my kids for free. And I used to joke that you guys were like my staff.
Yeah, we were.
I was very spoiled.
Years later, you opened your own salon, Crafted
I did.
Collective,
I did.
in Newhall, California. Shout out, shout out, shout out. You did not think you could do it. You almost didn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
And how long has it been? 4 years?
In 4 years, we managed to survive the shutdowns,
Yeah.
COVID, politics.
Yeah.
Um, We fostered a group of staff, a group of refugee stylists after their
Mm.
salon closed, until their new space was ready. Um, I gotta say, I mean, those walls in that salon, I don't know, like it touches something very special in my heart. That place was meant to, um, well, not me getting emotional.
Oh, that's all right. Let it out. We're
It
in
really,
therapy.
like, it's seen everything, and
Mhm.
it's been a refuge for, I think, every one of us at a different time in our lives, and I'm forever grateful.
Yeah. Well, you're such a good salon owner. I know we used to watch
Oh,
Tabitha's salon takeover and
takeover.
and obviously you've been at different salons and you've, seen things that you like and see things that you don't like and probably saw things that you would want to do differently because of XYZ reason, and I feel like you've really taken all those. I mean, not that I'm one of your stylists. I don't see every
But
day.
you think you are.
That's a different story for a different
A different
episode.
story.
Listen, I like my hair how I like my hair.
Yeah, but you don't know what you're talking about. Even your
Well, then
new
don't ask
stylist
me.
will
Well, then
tell
don't
you.
ask me. When you ask me what
Well,
I want and don't ask me questions because I'm going to tell you
listen,
what I want.
if you get uppity again, I'm going to bleach your eyebrow, right? Like I did last time.
That was, oh my God. Don't even. Okay, so boss bitch.
I'll switch. Yeah. I like things my way. So opening a salon just seemed to make sense.
Yeah. Uh Mom of two kids, obviously we've mentioned that, but Grace and Jack.
My sweetest,
Um
sweetest.
you've been through a lot in the past, I guess, maybe 3 years if you're
Like 4.5.
well then the salon's been open for longer.
The salon's been open since 19. So May of
Oh, okay.
19.
Okay.
The events
So
occurred almost a year later,
the
like July
events.
of 20, the events.
Right. Yeah. Um, how's your mental state? How you doing?
I'm
In
good.
life. In life,
I'm
not just about that.
I'm good. I don't know that I thought that there was a time that I would be saying that so easily. Um, it was very rough to figure out that your life was not going to be what you thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
That is a rough pill to swallow, considering that I truly believe that the life that I had was kind of the reward for the shit that I grew up with.
Mm-hmm.
Really did operate under that assumption. And then to find out that wasn't true either was just rough, was very heart
Mm-hmm.
wrenching, and really required me to do a lot of self work and some healing from like just old childhood wounds, kind of some new traumas, a little bit of everything. I had an amazing therapist along the way. I always call her my magical unicorn because I do truly believe that about her. I don't know that she would have, I don't know that I would have been able to see what I needed to see to get to where I am now without her. And she always says, she's like, you did the work. And I'm like, I know, but she's so aggressively aggressive in a very peaceful, like kumbaya, namaste
Yeah.
sort of way.
Yeah.
So I'm good. Back to your original, kind of thing. 47 sounds weird, but feels great. I feel the most myself I've ever been.
Oh,
Oh,
we love
I
to see
mean,
it. We love
there
to
are
hear it.
days, right? There's always going to be an off day. There's always going to be an off week. There's going to be things that come up and bumps in the road, but I no longer feel like I'm unsafe within my own body. Like I now know how to handle that on my own. Or if I need help, I reach out and ask for help.
Mm-hmm.
Not something I'm great at.
Not something you're great at.
No.
But now I think you are getting better at that.
Yeah, I am getting better
Not
for
something you've
sure.
historically been great at, which same for
No.
me.
Yes. It's just trauma response. It's just our way. Fiercely
Traumas.
independent.
Oh my God. I wish it wasn't the case.
But do you?
No, no, no. I'm not saying no. I wish that as far as the asking for help or being open to help
Oh,
and stuff like that, I do wish because even okay, if I'm venting to you about something, you're telling me what I already know, right? But like it's hard to I already know it, but I can't act on it. like I'm stubborn enough to know that I don't need help. I can do it myself, or I'm doing it right. Everyone else is doing it wrong. Like I don't really feel that way anymore. Like it's been years of work, but I wish that earlier on I would have been a less aggressive, because when people do something nice for you, you didn't even ask for help. When people get you a gift, when people offered to take you out for dinner and you're combative like I was. No, I don't want you to take me out for dinner. I don't want you to do that. I don't want you to do this. Like you told me, you're like, you're being rude, like it's
Mhm.
actually very rude. Somebody offered to take you out for dinner and you're not accepting and you're actually protesting and causing a scene. Like, how do you think that makes somebody feel? How would you feel if somebody acted like that towards you? And I do
I'm
just,
so smart.
you are. I do wish I would have, I mean, it's been a lot of work to get to where I'm at now, and I feel very comfortable most of the time in those arenas, those situations. However, like that was a hard, and I don't know where that comes from. Is that just because we did everything on our own?
It's because the people that we were programmed to rely on, mom, your dad, my dad, they
Her
could
druggy
not
friends.
show they couldn't show up for us in any kind of way. And any time that you did ask for something, you were so unsure of the outcome. Like Courtney had said, and I actually found it amazing that you said that what you remember about mom is just this really loving, like even keel person. And it just goes to show that we have so many different versions of who we knew. And so
Mm-hmm.
I think that when you don't know who someone is, it makes it very difficult to ask for help
Yeah.
because you don't know what you're going to get. I'm glad that you got the loving version. I think, I'm so sorry. Allergies are really bad.
Please stop coughing.
Sorry. Um, she was mercurial at best. Why are you
What?
laughing?
Nobody's gonna know what that means.
What? Mercurial?
Your
It's
vocabulary is too ridiculous.
it's not actually that big of a word.
Can
You want
you
me to spell it?
define it?
Yeah, mercurial. Inconsistent, unstable.
Where did you first hear the word mercurial?
I don't know.
Like, stop trying to show off.
I'm not. I can't help it that I have a big vocabulary and I'm always right. These
And
are
a
my
big
gifts.
ass.
These are my gifts for being the oldest. Okay. That's all.
Okay, okay. Speaking of
Mercurial.
oldest, do
Oh.
you feel, because of, this is a loaded question, but do you feel like you have a resentment or specific trauma bonds because you were the oldest and had to care for us in a very unhealthy lifestyle that we had? Do you feel like you have any attachment wounds from there with us, with your three younger sisters?
I think probably at one time for sure. I definitely not now. I think it was always a big push and pull for me. And it was a really big push and pull with mom. Mom knew it and used it as a weapon. When I moved out when I was 15, because she had slapped me and I was very high drama, and I was like, oh, I'm doing this. And I left, and my friend Molly came pick me up, and she had you on her hip. And she said, and I went to go give you a kiss, and she said, you'll never see her again. And I just died inside and had to walk anyway. And it was awful. But she knew that she could use it in that way.
Mm-hmm.
So that was hard. I would say that I don't know that I had resentment necessarily, but I always had a lot of feelings of guilt. Like I should be here. I should be here. I should be living my life. I should be here with you guys. Is mom taking care of you? You're at the Burbank apartments. Let me come from my shift at Nordstrom and go there really quick to make sure that you're okay. But I can't stay long enough to be overly emotional and solve your problems for you because I still have to put on a show for mom. It was all very complicated, but I don't think resentment is the word, but trauma bonded, yes, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. When is your I mean, that's obviously a traumatic and unhealthy memory that you have when you moved out at 15 and that you just shared, but what is there an earlier traumatic memory with mom when you were younger that you can tell us?
I mean, there's just so many.
Yeah, just choose one or two.
Mm,
if you want.
I mean, this isn't actually earlier, this is right around the same time, but she told me that my real dad broke her nose, and that's why he's not in our life. But then when I did move out and I wasn't speaking to her, she had to come clean and tell me because she knew that I had been reaching out to him. Um, which I just cannot even imagine what a horrible thing that is to have to admit to your daughter that you lied about something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, one of her first boyfriends molested me when I was like two, no, maybe 3 or 4. I don't have a lot of like vivid memories, but and it certainly wasn't her fault. I'm not shaming her at all for that. But if you're asking about a memory of that, but it's also mixed in with, the fact that she let me run around in Wonder Woman underoos, and I thought that was the greatest thing in the world. And she let me bring home stray cats. We had 7. Yeah.
Not me having more of a reaction to the 7 than the molestation.
I
Maybe
feel
because
like
the cats are
par
a
for the
surprise
course.
to me. I did know about the other.
Yes, yes, the cats, 7 cats. I had 7 cats. I loved
Oh my
them. And
gosh.
she just she was, oh, she was a lot of things, mom.
Mm-hmm.
I always refer to her as Peter Pan.
Yeah.
Like, she definitely should not have had 4 kids. She definitely did not know how to mom us. She had so much that she needed to heal from that I just don't know. I don't know that she even knew where to start. It was a different time then. And I think
Yeah.
I've come to a place now where instead of so much anger with her, I really can say that I do believe that she did the best with the tools that she had. Not to say
Yeah.
that I think that she did a great job, not to say that I'm still not mad about a lot of things and I wish things were different, but also I've come to a place where if I keep wishing things are different, then I'll never get to have the joy of today. Because
Mm-hmm.
the only reason that I have the joy today is because those things happened. So would I go back and
Preach.
do them again? No. Would I want that for my children? No, I work every day to make that not happen, but I think I've kind of stopped wishing it away.
Mm-hmm. Did you? Sometimes I really do get confused between the lies that I was told or the things that
Sure.
I've made up, honestly, but like not out of like trying to make up a story,
No,
but
but your brain has to fill in the
putting
gaps
the
somewhere.
pieces together, but putting them together wrong. But like how you said mom lied about, your dad breaking her nose, blah, blah, blah. Like I grew up thinking probably so much more happened between my dad and her than maybe did, all this stuff, blah, blah, blah. But did you try to emancipate us? Uh,
I
or
did
is
when I
that
was
a made up
living.
story?
No, no, I did. I
Okay.
got all the paperwork. I spoke to a lawyer, and they were like, honey, you don't have a place to live. You don't have a job. Like, because not only did I want to emancipate
And what is that? Can you
myself,
tell me what emancipate means, Miss Vocabulary?
emancipate basically means you are looked at as a legal adult before you're 18. So it would be the courts saying, like, this was so far back in the day. You guys have to understand, like, I literally wrote a note to my school. They just took it, like, that my address had changed. Like, nobody checked with anybody
Yeah,
back
yeah, yeah.
then. There was no Life 360 or any of that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I wanted to get emancipated so that I could take you guys from her.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that's where the lawyer was like, sweetie, that's never going to happen. I mean, you've got little bitty sisters, and there's just no way that you can care for and support them. And I was like, I'll find a way. Very Sally Field, very
Yeah,
Dr.
which looking
Muir.
back, like probably, I mean, who know? Like, I'm
Oh,
sure we would have found a way, but like, it really did. The way that we all
listen.
did turn out, and people tell me
Uh,
this all the time, specifically Carolyn Aikman tells me this all the time. Like,
yeah.
I don't know how you turned out to be the way you did, like in a positive way. Like, how did you do
It's
it?
it's pretty rare though, P. Like, I mean, mom was not just like a little bit of a drug addict. She didn't, do a little pill here and that. Not that there's a wavering scale on addicts. I don't want to
Yeah,
say that, but I mean, she shot heroin.
yeah.
That's a it's a big deal.
Up until what age do you think she did that?
Oh, I think she was still shooting it when she died.
Oh, you think?
Mhm.
Do you think that's what she was doing in the bathroom, like in like when I lived in Washington State. I know you weren't living there,
Yes,
but
ma'am.
was she? That was the heroin dose. That was the nodding off,
Yeah, or she was shooting herself up and then falling asleep for
passing
a
out,
little bit.
and then what?
And then falling asleep for a little bit. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, she used to do that on the couch with her hand in a Fruit Loop box.
Well, and that's just indicative of heroin. So Courtney would be a better person to tell you about this, but she was on methadone, which is basically the legal form of heroin.
Yeah, it's
It
supposed to
just
suppress your addiction to opiates.
right by storing itself in your fatty deposits or something. I don't know. I remember reading about it and I was very much
Hmm.
like, what the heck? Um, so she's on methadone, but methadone is not supposed to be a forever drug. It's supposed to
Right. It's supposed
be
to be temporary.
right. But she didn't want to get sober. That's the thing. I
Yeah.
offered to pay for her to go to rehab several times,
Hmm.
several. And not that I even had the money, but I was like, well, I have a stable husband. And he was looking at me like, I don't know, I've never dealt with this. And I do believe that he would have. I
Oh,
do
no, I believe
absolutely
so.
believe that he would have helped me
Yeah.
figure out something because, it was devastating.
No, he
Um,
loved us and did a lot. He
Absolutely.
fully enjoyed, I think, although we be a lot, although all of your sisters were a
So
lot.
much.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
I
no,
think he
he
did. I
did
think he also did the best he could.
with the tools that he had.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But we were
Wow, wow,
young. We
wow.
were kids when we got together. So we learned to grow up and we thought that we were grown up. And we thought that grown up meant like you got a Costco membership and you bought water, in the liters.
Honestly, still feels very grown up.
I actually do still feel very productive. Now I feel a little bit more productive when I go to Trader Joe's, though, to be honest.
Mm,
Hmm.
okay.
Okay.
Yeah, Costco's too much for me.
I feel like you really got to have a plan.
You got to have a plan, and I don't do well with these slow walkers, slow movers. Like,
Oh.
when I used to go to the store with grandma all the time, and like she would be so mad.
Mhm.
And I think I
Yeah.
have that in me at the grocery store. Like, people walking too slow, so you're gonna bump them with your cart, or then you're walking too slow, someone's gonna bump you with their cart. Like, she would just grunt. She would be, oh.
I really do feel like grandma. Like I feel like it all skipped a generation. I feel like I'm so much more like grandma than I ever like as a parent
Yeah.
and kind of as a person, like a little bit gruff around the edges. Like I'm like I was totally grumpy this morning. The girls
Well,
at the salon.
I'm not gruff. You are
No, I am gruff. It's a
gruff.
you gruff,
Oh, all
not
right. Well,
gruff.
this is an FU.
All right, cheerio,
Cheerio.
cheerio. Anyway,
Um, okay. We whined about a lot, but do you have a wine of the week?
I mean it's gonna have to be slow walkers slash slow drivers. I've always had a healthy case of road rage, but these days it's just
You
too much for me
really
to
need to
handle.
take your road rage down a notch.
Can't do it.
No,
Can't
it's
do it.
really bad.
I, I can't. It's not that bad. Also, my children have it, so just my children
You're passing it on to
are
them.
my children are basically like little carbon copies of me, personality wise. Like it is wild when you watch your kids as they get older. Grace is about to be 20, Jack's 15. The personality traits that they show you, and you're like, oh my God, that's wow. Yeah, they do
Yeah.
have road rage also. It's a California thing.
Especially, well, at least when you're out here in Houston, please like leave the road rage in California because people don't play out here.
I was just fine driving in Houston. Thank you very much, as I was your personal assistant, getting your shite to and from the event venue. Okay,
Oh, that was
so
so much fun. Let's do it again.
I think let's do it again. I'm in.
So much fun.
I
All right.
will know to not do my hair before taking Pedro on a walk this time in the event that it rains.
Well, that weather was so bad that week.
Yes.
It's supposed to be delicious this week, though. So sorry you're gonna miss it.
Montana was beautiful. I just got back to California and it is also okay. We're
When
getting
we
a
get
little
off this
cool.
thing, when we get
Yes.
off this interview, can you go look at your flights and stuff for Montana? And then I will get back to you when I'm done with my next interview, okay?
Yes, ma'am. Anything for you. I'm right on top of that, Rose.
I was gonna ask before we go, what is the most irritating quality about myself? And I think I know what you're gonna say.
Uh, What do you think I'm going to say?
Not the arm cross. My planning and OCD around
Yeah,
planning and needing to know everything that's going on.
it's the needing to have everything your way. But that's because you're the baby. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Did you just wink at the wall or what
No,
happened there? You had a stroke?
not everything needs to happen my way. It's just usually
Oh,
better if it is my way.
I'm so sorry. Would
Right,
you like
Kari?
to? Oh, I'm sure they have plenty of stories. Would you like to discuss the protocol for washing your face if you're going to be spending the night at
Yeah,
your
if
house?
you stay at my house, you need to use a makeup wipe
Uh-huh.
first.
Uh-huh.
It's or a double cleanser, double oil cleanser. But then you need to wash your face and use a
Mhm.
black towel to dry off your face because you're probably gonna have some makeup residue.
Right. Yep. We
And it
don't
doesn't need
want
to be
to
on my white
don't
towels.
have any makeup residue.
Anyway, our time's over. So
Our time will never be over.
our time will never be over. No, because I'm gonna call your ass tonight.
Yeah,
And we gotta
well.
get those Montana flights figured out.
Oh
Okay?
my God. Okay. All right.
Okay, well, I love you so much. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for being vulnerable. Time flies when
I
you're
love
talking
you
about
so much.
trauma.
Yeah, it really does.
Okay, cheers me. Cheers.
Cheers.
Love you. See you next Thursday, whiners.
Love
Bye.
you. Bye.